You guys can see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Field of Dreams.
Hey guys, welcome to the stream. View Sports Talk starts in about 5 minutes. We're counting down our top sports moments of 2021. So if you guys are with us, please drop a like on the video. Let us know in the comments that you're here. We hang out for about an hour.
Yeah. Ben, did you see the note about the other little topic we're going to talk about?
Yes, I did. AP.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Cool.
I'm on it. Seems pretty unanimous.
Yeah. I got some thoughts.
Yeah. I got a name in mind that I can throw in the wheelhouse there. So
yeah. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy New Year.
Hey, right back at you, brother.
That's right.
I guess this will be our second to last show of the year, Leon.
Yeah, I think so.
We're gonna do a midday New Year's Eve weekend review.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
So you guys can while you're getting ready for your New Year's Eve plans, you can have us on in the background listening to that this week in Caps.
I mean, my New Year's plans is staying up beyond midnight so I can watch day one. So,
Ooh, are they not doing that until midnight?
my understanding is they're doing it at midnight.
They're at oh shit! I thought they were doing it that night. Okay,
I'll double check and I'll text you. But I because I was on Peacock like a day or so ago, and they had the graphic up for it, and it said it started at 12 a.m. January 2nd.
Oh, okay. That's midnight January 1st then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I like okay. That's interesting.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely. I need to get signed up for Peacock before that.
What's being
the cock?
WWE is doing a pay-per-view on January 1st.
Gotcha.
Midnight?
Yeah.
Apparently.
That's like some Japanese stuff.
Yes, and Benjamin is splitting his attention, I'm sure, tonight. Have they kicked off yet?
Oh shit!
Yeah. You better turn that on, Ben.
No, I remembered it all day long, and then I forgot to look at what time kickoff was at. So thank you.
Iowa State just pissed it down their leg, so they should be kicking off anytime now.
Nice.
Yeah, I know the college playoffs are on New Year's Eve too.
Yep, that'd be fun.
2 games. Look forward to that. Hopefully they're good games.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
0-0 with 10:30 left to go in the first quarter. And I think the Sooners are about to punt. So good shape so far.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Iowa State. Brock Purdy's final play as a Cyclone fumble on 4th down.
Oh my God.
Yep. Anyway. It's just a bowl game that literally means nothing. So.
Yeah.
What do you got planned for New Year's, Neil?
I'm probably I'm gonna visit my mom, have some lunch with her. The annual tradition there at her place. I think mainly though, I'm just gonna veg out with the new season of Cobra Kai on Netflix.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
It comes out on Friday too, right?
Yeah. I really like that series. So I'm probably gonna watch that.
I'll be binging that.
Yeah, I'd like to see a bit of the outdoor game too. I think the Predators and Wild are playing. The annual outdoor game.
Isn't Boba
Winter
Fett
Classic?
Boba Fett just started too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta watch that. The Boba Fett.
Oh yeah. The Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, I just watched that earlier this evening. It was good so far.
You watched the whole thing already?
No, it's only the first episode.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's on Apple. It's on Disney, so they'll do one episode a week.
Yeah, they do it week by week. Yeah, That's what they were doing with the Mandalorian too,
Yeah,
and
true.
most of their series.
I might let that build up then.
Yeah, it's always
It's good.
I like binging stuff more too.
Yeah.
But Fortnite's down, so I'll probably watch the Warriors tonight.
Mm.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I still haven't seen it yet, so I gotta.
They'll finally get the references.
Mhm.
Come out and play. Oh,
Yeah, that
by
makes
the
no
way,
sense until you
Oklahoma
watch
did
it.
not punt. They went on for it in 4th and 2, and they got the first down. So thanks a lot, Oregon defense.
Yeah, Jason Hill just
Ah.
said why punt when Oregon defense is depleted. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Strip sack fumble recovery for a defensive touchdown is the best play in football.
I agree with that. Especially when it's much harder to do in the college game, because once you hit the deck, it's like plays over.
True. Yeah. Yeah, especially when one of those big 300-pound defensive linemen is the one that picks it up and rumbles it in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Flyers
It's like
did
when
that.
Haloti Anata was playing for the Ravens a number of years ago and ran it back like 98 yards, but was so gassed out he couldn't cross the end zone.
I don't know.
You're so close, dude. Get it.
A really good kick return or punt return is always fun too.
I agree with that.
Little Dante Hall action.
Yeah.
You don't see kick returns for touchdowns too often anymore. Punt returns though.
All right.
We almost had one on Sunday, but
All right.
Let's get started. Y'all ready?
We are.
Bring it on.
Hey guys, welcome to the Vault. We are back with another episode of View Sports Talk. Today, we will be counting down our top sports moments of 2021. We did not share this list, so there might be some crossover. There might not be. Pierre is away doing Pierre stuff today, so Jason, I guess we'll get you to host. I'll pass the baton to you. So
Jesus. All right. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for the heads up. But welcome everybody. This will be the last show of the year, so let's recap the year a little bit, right? We're gonna talk about the AP just released their 2 picks for Athlete of the Year, and we're going to go through our favorite sports moments of the year. I'm pretty excited. Nobody better take my number 1 sports moment of the year, and hopefully you all know what that is. But let's go ahead and get started. So the AP. And thanks for everybody joining. Let's make sure comment on your thoughts, arguments, whatever. If you think Leon's wrong, which he usually is, let us know.
Yeah.
But the AP just announced their male and female athlete of the year. So since they announced the male one first, let's start there. Shohei Ohtani was the male athlete of the year. Ben, thoughts?
I understand the pick, and I think it's a good pick. I'm not going to deny that.
Right.
Especially considering the fact that he did it as a hitter, he did it as a pitcher. Absolutely amazing season that none of us have seen anything similar to that in our lifetimes, at least. Nope. So shout out to him for that. I think the one other person that I could have said could have been the male sportsman of the year would have been Djokovic had he won the U.S. Open and completed the full calendar year Grand Slam for tennis.
Okay.
So I think, I was gonna say it was that one little slip up in the final for the U.S. Open that probably cost him that title. So Shohei Ohtani, good job.
Oh yeah. So it's odd though that in an Olympic year they actually didn't choose an Olympic athlete. So Neil, why do you think that's the case?
Oh goodness.
Hey, you guys, that's what you get for me hosting. I'm going to actually put you on the spot.
Man, it was kind of a tough year for the Olympics though.
It really was.
I mean, I don't know if that much really, stood out like that, as far
we
as
didn't have any dominant performances.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, Simone probably would have been in the running had she not pulled out.
Yeah.
And Caleb Dressel, Didn't dominate like people thought he was going to. I think he only ended up with maybe 4 golds, 5 golds, 3 of those being like relays.
Yeah.
If he would have had a even close to a Phelps-like performance, I think he probably would have been in the running. But the other issue too is they were in Japan this year, and like you couldn't see him live. A lot of it was hard to watch the Olympics.
Yeah.
So
no fans
and follow along the fans and stuff. So I think that really had something to do with it. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of odd that in an Olympic year, neither of the athletes, which the female athlete of the year was Candace Parker for her second AP athlete of the year.
Great pick.
It was a great pick. She'd have some. She was on the Olympic team, right? Pretty sure she was.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. So there's a little Olympic tie in there, but she had a dominant WNBA season, and it was just
she did.
It was just odd that in an Olympic year they didn't pick Olympic athletes like they usually do.
From what I remember from the Olympics, the 2 sports that were dominated consistently by 1 or 2 people was like the Chinese men's and women's diving, like high diving.
Sure.
Pairs, individuals, and stuff like that. And so, a lot of that probably has more to do with the fact that, diving is not going to get the sports credibility that a lot of other events are going to, which, realistic, if you look at it, there are so many different mechanics involved with that as far as, gymnastics.
Yeah.
Dealing with the heights on top of which too, because that shit ain't easy. And so I feel like if anybody from the Olympic realm would have, I can't think of their names right now, so I apologize for that. But it probably would have been them realistically if we're going to talk about overall dominance and for any of the Olympic athletes.
Yeah. Diving just doesn't move the needle though.
Correct. Yeah. Unless you're Greg Louganis.
Yeah. I mean, that has something to do with it. We Americans haven't had great divers in the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 Olympics. So that takes a little luster off of it. I know the AP is worldwide, but the majority of them are based in the United States.
Correct.
So it does have
bias,
something to do with
hard
it.
bias.
There is bias. Yeah, there is. Absolutely. Leon, your thoughts on Otani or Parker and possibly who should have been it instead of those 2?
I mean, Candace Parker, great story, right? She goes home. She wins a title with Chicago Sky. She beats. Did they beat the Mercury in the final?
Mercury,
yes.
Yeah. Mercury are freaking dominant, right? They got Skylar Diggins and a bunch of other players. I'm not even pretend like I know too much about the WNBA, but I always liked the Phoenix Mercury and what they were doing. So it'd be cool to. It would have been cool if Phoenix would have swept the men's and ladies basketball finals, but that didn't happen. And yeah, Otani just I don't know. I was kind of team Vlad in a lot of the different arguments, but I know that in the end, Otani deserved the MVP more so. So to watch him get the athlete of the year thing, like I can understand that. Like it's such a rarity for someone to do that on both sides of the plate, on both sides of the ball, basically.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think any last thoughts on that one before we move on to our favorite sports moments?
No, I mean, realistically, I think like thinking about it now, and this is going to come up later in the show. Harry Kane for England being the prolific goal scorer he was in the Euro Cup, also another possible male candidate at least.
Yeah, it's hard. It'd be hard for them to recognize a soccer player outside of World Cup years.
Yeah, I get that.
Unless they just go completely insane and score like 60 goals like Messi did a few years ago. I don't know. But yeah. And with that American bias too, soccer is not going to really move the needle.
Scumbags.
I may have thrown a hat in the ring as far as male athlete of the year for Giannis. Coming off his performance in the finals and that just, being the MVP, finals MVP, winning the, that 50-point performance in the games, the closeout game. pretty spectacular. And obviously, he's just an incredible player in the NBA for basketball. But it is hard. I mean, it's hard to go against Ohtani with just how unique he is in baseball and what he does. It is just so rare. So I can certainly understand why he, would get that award. But I may have thrown a hat there in the ring for Giannis as far as the male athlete of the year is concerned.
What about Ben Simmons?
Yeah,
that's $1 in the jar. All right. And actually, I was just looking quick. They have never awarded Athlete of the Year to a soccer player.
That's
Ever.
that's criminal. I mean, especially for what Cristiano Ronaldo has done over the years, what Lionel Messi has done over the years, and it's just like that makes absolutely no sense to me.
And their season's so long too, right? It's barely
soccer,
I feel like.
I don't know. Yeah,
because especially in a year where there's either a Euro Cup or a World Cup, plus you got Champions League if you're on a good enough team. You got your, in your actual league tournaments. Then there's all the little side quests and stuff. So it's like, the fact that a soccer player hasn't won it, criminal.
It's got to be that American bias. I'm looking here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the men's since 1931, 7 have been non-Americans.
Wow.
And that's 2 of them are baseball players, and one's Wayne Gretzky. So, anyway,
no surprise there.
Right. Got robbed of the balloon. Lewin, I don't know. Messi probably didn't deserve the balloon d'Or, but Hatter's going off about the balloon d'Or. So anyway, so favorite sports moments of the year. Leon, this was your idea. Why don't you go ahead and lead this one?
Do it.
I'm gonna start with one. I'll start with Giannis dropping 50, closeout game, NBA Finals. He wins his first one, gets the monkey off his back pretty early. Just dominant final. I think he missed one free throw out of like 17 or something. Like
maybe 2.
He kind of silenced a lot of demons with that closeout game. Phoenix looked like they were gonna win the series, and then they went up 2-0 in the series, and then the Bucks kind of came back and smashed them. So that's my number one sports. Well, the first of 3 sports moments that I'm gonna nominate.
Oh shit, we're supposed to have 3, huh? Damn it.
Giannis dropping 50 in a closeout game. Huge moment.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. A surprise. In the fact just how much he dominated that game.
Yeah. He took over.
Yeah. And it's like you said, made 15 of 17 or 16 of 17 free throws.
Yep.
Dominated the paint, to the whole every aspect of the game. He just took it.
Yeah.
Well, especially when he was just hitting bricks in like the first couple series of the playoffs, and everybody's just like, "What the hell's wrong with him?"
Yeah.
And I feel like that was just like one of the most prolific psych out moves that anybody's pulled off in NBA Finals history. So well done, Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Neil.
I mean, Steph Curry getting the all-time 3-point champ was certainly a great moment. He's my favorite current non-Philadelphia athlete, and watching him do that, albeit on TV, but was quite a moment. Just an incredible athlete. Just hits those, as we discussed some weeks ago, the way he just is such an assassin and just such a weapon as a 3-point shooter, and also doing the other scoring he does and setting up other teammates. But I mean, that record, just the record pace he got it, just kind of everything that went with that moment, and it just, obviously doing it in New York at Madison Square Garden on top of it. Just a great moment, and one of my favorite moments of the calendar year for sports, for sure.
I like it.
And as we're going along here, guys, those are in the room. Make sure you let us know your favorite sports moments, or if how wrong you think Neil is on his favorite. Um,
That mouthpiece chewer, but he gets it done.
he does. It was cool, especially with Ray Allen being there, and Reggie Miller being there.
Yep.
Obviously, Kerr being there. You know,
Yeah.
Kerr. The most interesting thing I heard was Kerr was there the last 3 times that record was broken. Once
Yeah.
as a player, once as a broadcaster, and once as a coach. So
That's crazy.
How about that?
that is crazy. He was in the building all 3 times.
He's that magic charm.
Could be. Ben, you're first.
All right, my first one. So my number 3 spot, as I'm watching my Oregon Ducks getting very close to scoring a touchdown, but doesn't like they're going to do it.
Well, hopefully for you, Oregon has a better bowl game this year than they did last year.
Oh my God, I'm still just crying inside about that one. So, but hats off. To you
I'm actually going to jump ahead of you. That was my 3rd favorite sports moment of the year. It was actually the very first day of the year. Iowa State winning their biggest bowl game in school history, the Fiesta
God
Bowl,
damn it.
over the Oregon Ducks, the champs. They were the champs of the Pac-12 last year, right?
They were the Pac-12 champs, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, just Iowa State had an incredible year. Unfortunately, they followed it up with a bummer of a season this year with 20 of 22 starters returning. But anyway, but yeah, that was my 3rd favorite sports moment. It's a little more personal. Alma mater. Nobody in the room probably cares about it too much, except for maybe Ben because he watched his Ducks get absolutely thrashed. But,
begrudgingly, yeah.
But we almost had a hat bet on that one, didn't we? We were close.
No, I know. We probably should have. I feel like I probably owe you one for that one anyway. So I'll pay up accordingly.
No. We didn't make it. But hopefully Oregon has a better bowl game this year. But sorry, I didn't. Since you brought it up, I thought I'd jump ahead.
I kept thinking that was at the end of 2020. I forgot it actually it went into 2021. So that's a good call. Right. No, but early this season, Oregon going into the horseshoe, Oregon had never beaten Ohio State in a regular season game or a bowl game. And believe me, I was there for one of them, the Rose Bowl in 2010 or 2011 based on the calendar. Or no, it was 2010 based on the calendar because it crossed over because it's New Year's Day. Had never beaten Ohio State. So to go into the horseshoe with minimal expectations to do anything.
Sure.
Yeah. And just completely dominate on both sides of the ball, get the win by a touchdown. Obviously, as Duck fans, we thought, "Oh shit, we're going to the Natty this year," just unexpectedly,
right?
And then the wheels fell off a few weeks later. So,
right.
But no, that was the crowning achievement for the year.
It was interesting too how they did it.
Yeah,
like they just ran the ball down their throat.
Yep.
Which that's Oregon's not necessarily known for that style of football, but they went in there and they played.
What?
Well, the tradition in the last 10 years, they're more of a passing team, right? Yeah, with Herbert and Mariota and
no,
I don't know. Well, what do I watch? You obviously watch closer than I do, but I suppose they had some decent runners there too. But
yeah, well, I mean, in this year especially because they had C.J. Verdell, they had Travis Dye, who is actually having a great game tonight. And then there was their 3rd running back whose name escapes me right now. He got some more reps, but Verdell went down against Stanford. And so Oregon, at least, during the time frame when I was going to school there. So this is 2007 to 2013. I mean, there was a steady stream. Jonathan Stewart. Oh my God, why am I spacing on names right now? Anyway.
Skinny little dude.
Yeah, I can see his face. I can see the next 3 running back spaces, and I'm spacing right now. Jeremiah Johnson was in there somewhere. Yeah. But anyway, the line, that was kind of like the starting point for it as far as Oregon dominance in the run game. But yes, they've always had a pass attack as well. Right. But more importantly, having a quarterback who can pass and run at the same time.
Sure. Okay.
God, what the fuck is his name? Number 21. I don't know why I went to school with the goddamn man.
Anyway. All right. The Ducks winning at the shoe. Number 3.
Ducks
All
winning the
right.
shoe.
Good one. Good one. I was so happy to see that because Ohio State was picked by everyone like preseason number 1.
Oh, absolutely.
Or number 2, maybe. Can't remember who was if Alabama was up there at all. But yeah, to see them Blues that early made me very, very happy.
Yep.
Leon, you're number 2.
Number 2, I'm going to go completely off the board. And a sport I know very little about, but it was a matchup that kind of got me to pay attention. Was women's U.S. final, U.S. Open final. British teen sensation Emma Raducanu beats Canadian sensation Leylah Fernandez. Leylah won on a crazy run. I think she beat like Osaka and a bunch of other highly ranked people. And Emma was born in Toronto, so we can claim her too.
There you go.
All Canadian team final tennis. I very rarely watch tennis, but that matchup made me watch. That was super exciting final. Emma ended up winning, but yeah, just really, really excited to watch kind of Leylah go through her run at the U.S. Open. So that's my number 2. Sport I rarely watch, but
that's a good one.
Intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that, especially after Emma, got to like the quarterfinals, out of like the qualifier bracket. It really started popping up on the radar, and she just continued to run. So it was pretty cool. And then see her go against another team, in Leylah Fernandez in the finals. Kind of a passing of the torch, if you will, in women's tennis. But yeah, it's cool to see for sure. Neil, you a big fan of women's tennis?
Can't say I am. Although the Williams sisters movie was very good.
I still gotta watch that.
LaMichael
King
James,
Richard.
thank you.
LaMichael James, thank you. Oh my God.
LaMichael
Thank you.
James.
Jake and Patter. Yeah. Sorry. Good one, Leon. Neil, you're number 2.
My number 2 is MV3. As a diehard Phillies fan, not a lot usually goes right for us, but 10 straight years, no playoffs. But having Bryce Harper winning the NL MVP was pretty special. I've seen a few Phillies MVPs over the years. Bryce was, you talk about a guy putting the team on his back, other guys out. Really not a lot going on offensively besides for Bryce. He was the only player on the team that you pretty much couldn't pitch to, but anytime he got any pitch that he can hit, he was hitting it. And he just had a spectacular run and a spectacular season, and well deserving of that MVP award. And when they awarded him the MVP, his live reaction was pretty cool there with his family there, the emotions. He thanked his chef as part of it. Just, what? People can say what they want about the contract. Should they have done it? Should they have not? He's lived up to it. He's been a tremendous player for the team, and he's also been a tremendous personality for the city. He's really taken to the city and to the fans and the fanatic. And he had one hell of a year. It's a shame it didn't end in playoffs, but hopefully they're getting closer to that. And hey, if he keeps going at that pace, they'll certainly have a good shot at the playoffs, go in seasons going forward. And but what a spectacular year! And he was a real treat to watch, collecting his second MVP award, first as a Philly, and maybe there'll be more to come down the road. But what a year for Bryce, and tip the hat and congrats to him. And thanks for at least having something fun to watch with the Phillies this year.
So this is probably a whole nother show, but I think it's interesting that in baseball, you can win the MVP without your team having success.
Yeah.
As opposed to a lot of other sports, especially like the Heisman, which has become so watered down. They just give it to the best quarterback on the best team, whatever. But I do have to question though, right? Like, can you be the most valuable player if your team doesn't even make the playoffs? Like, how much value did you actually add to your team? I get it. Bryce Harper is a fantastic player. He had an incredible year. Same with Shohei Ohtani. You can make the same argument with him.
Yeah.
But I mean, there should be a little emphasis on team success as well. But baseball is like that, though. They don't really care how your team did. They look at individual stats and player performances and whatnot.
It's always been a stats-driven, league and a stats-driven award. There's been many MVPs that have won it without, making the postseason. Mike Trout a few times and whatnot. Ohtani, obviously. And there's just special players, and whether or not the team success, you can't always put it just on them. I mean, they did everything they could for the team to have that success. It's just the other players around them didn't exactly live up to their end of the bargain.
So maybe my issue with it is the name of the award.
Yeah.
More than who it's given to. Like, if it was the best player award, absolutely. But it's called the MVP.
Sure.
Most valuable player. I mean, he's paid a lot, so there's a lot of value there. But I don't know. Again, that's an argument for a whole nother show. But yeah, he had a fantastic year.
Like football has an offensive player of the year
and defensive player, sure,
and defensive player of the year. So I don't know, or maybe like a most outstanding player of the year thing. But yeah, it's been a long time since both players came from non-playoff teams. But I don't know. They just statistically they had such a strong year that it's almost hard to argue.
And I mean, baseball kind of does that too with the Silver Slugger and the Gold Glove awards.
Yep.
But obviously going to multiple players, football obviously is just one player. But it's all, as we know, it's a stats driven deal, and that it is what it is. But it would be a very good show topic for sure down the road.
Here's a question I want to throw in there. Has there been a quieter MVP in MLB history than Bryce Harper did this year? Because I mean, and I'm not hating on the guy. I mean, he put up great numbers, but it's just like, because the Phillies were kind of in the thick of it and then fell by the wayside, I don't feel like there was a lot of emphasis by anybody that, oh, hey, Bryce Harper's doing this. He's leading in this, blah, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just like, by the time the season ended, I just look at his stats and I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, when they announced it, when they announced the award, I'm like, oh yeah, he did have a pretty good year.
He did have a good year.
I mean, obviously because the Phillies, like you said, fell by the wayside. They weren't on highlights a lot. They weren't on, Sports Center or whatever. So you didn't really see, unless you were following them or reading the box scores every day. You didn't really see his stats, right?
Yeah.
Or his performances or his highlights. So I'm glad the writers are paying attention though and awarded it appropriately.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's a good point. When they announced the MVP, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good pick.
I'll be damned.
I'll be damned.
There wasn't much competition out there for it, I guess. You can kind of argue Fernando, but Fernando kept getting injured. And then I think a lot of the Braves players kind of split the vote. Between Riley and Freddie Freeman, and I think
they were only the main contributors, or a lot of the big contributors were only Braves for half the season. So it's kind of hard to give the most valuable player to a part-time player or a part-time contributor, if you will. So
I see some people argue Riley Adams a lot, but I just feel like what the Braves did, they're kind of like underdogs and kind of written off for most of the season that no one was really paying attention to them.
Right.
So
the
end. But
All right. Ben, your turn.
So my number 2 is actually kind of an odd one, considering that it was a loss. A lot of you have come to know over the last year how big of a soccer fan I am. And the one team that holds my allegiance more than any is the English national team. I've been a fan of them since 1990. So in my lifetime, there are 3 Lions, exactly. In my lifetime, there's been a lot of promise for a number of years. I mean, the fact that the 1990 team made it to the semifinals. So the first year I'm actually watching soccer, that was the highest moment that I had ever seen the English national soccer team get. The last World Cup, obviously they went to the semifinals as well, lost to Croatia. So for them to go into Euro Cup this year, I know it's a COVID related thing, but at the same time, everybody who was involved definitely played their asses off.
Yes.
So the group stage did not go that well for England. I mean, they had a draw against Scotland, which was like the first time that had happened in decades.
Centuries.
Yeah.
Since William Wallace, basically.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, I don't know what's going to happen once you get to the knockout stage, but they just ran through teams. I mean, they beat Croatia 1-0, which was fine. They beat Germany 2-0. They kicked the crap out of Ukraine 4-0. And then they beat Denmark, who that was the one team where it's like, because of their player who had a heart attack on the field. I'm spacing his name now. You know, it's like the heart that went behind that and that team. It's like, I would have respected them and been okay with it if they won, but England ended up winning that despite being down 0-1 to start that game off. So England then gets vaulted into the finals against Italy. Italy, a team they had recently, the last time they played was in the 2012 Euro Cup in the quarterfinals and lost that fucking game. So, to see Stones for England just rocket in a goal within the first 4 minutes, like that was the highest of highs. But for whatever reason, England playing park the bus defense for the rest of the game. And then, of course, Italy scores in the second half. And then, of course, the absolute travesty with the PKs. But even at that, with Rashford and what's his face, who I'm spacing, who also young kid who missed his PK. The way the country just kind of rallied around those kids because nobody thought they'd be in that stage. I sure as hell didn't think they were going to be there. And so to see that, all kind of come together, even though it was a second place finish, absolutely wonderful season for them. And then the final as well was great.
Yeah. Sancho and Saka.
Thank you.
I felt so bad for them.
Yeah. They shouldn't have been put in that situation to begin with. And I just thought it was
the immediate reaction was so ugly with
the
kind of racism that came out of it. And I think people kind of nipped that in real quick. So
that's Italian soccer for you though.
Big time.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, that was such a heartbreaker for those kids. I felt so bad. I mean, I didn't. I watched the game. I actually watched a ton of the Euro Cup. I didn't really have a cart in a horse in the race. Obviously, I'm going to root for England just because of the Premier League, and I know most of those players.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt so bad for Rashford, Sancho, and Saka to miss those penalty kicks. But again, it shouldn't have been there in the first place. Like you said, they go up 1-0, 2 minutes into the game, and then they don't do anything the rest of the game.
Nope.
But I love that Hatter says Cubs will win another World Series before the Three Lions win a World Cup or a Euro Cup. That
I mean. Well, at least in our lifetime, because Three Lions have already won a World Cup back in '66.
Yeah.
But yes, in our lifetime, it's possible.
I don't know where the Cubs are and where England is right now. I think England has a much better shot of winning a Euro Cup at least.
Yeah.
Versus the Cubs winning a game. Just because they're completely. The
Cubs don't even have a good farm system, right? I don't even think the Iowa.
No, they trade a bunch of talent away, so they got a lot of work to do.
They got a lot of work to do, and the England national team is fairly young. There's not a lot of age there. Kane is getting up there, so he's still in the prime of his career, though. So maybe this World Cup, who knows? We'll find out.
I'll say a lot of it depends on how they draw because they're a top 4 country right now.
Right.
They blew the competition away in their qualifiers. So
right. I mean,
things should be good.
Yeah. I mean, Germany's down.
Good.
Brazil is, Spain is completely fallen off.
Yeah.
I don't know where Brazil is. Messi and Ronaldo are almost in their 40s.
Yep.
So, I mean, things are kind of lining up for England right now.
Yeah. Belgium and France are like the two big red flags for them.
Right. And U.S. men's national team, of course.
I hate to admit it, but you're actually kind of right on that.
The way they're playing in these qualifying rounds, hopefully, I mean, we're over a year away, but hopefully they don't screw things up and fall off. But I like the way they're playing right now, and they're you talk about young. I mean, their starting lineup the last qualifier was an average age of like 22.
Yep,
crazy. But anyway,
yeah,
that was a good one. I totally forgot about that game. That was a good tournament. I love soccer like you do, and we get to actually talk about it when Pierre's not around. So
hell yeah.
Canada might make it. Canada might make it too.
I'd be okay
I don't
with
think
that.
I've ever seen them in the World Cup in my whole lifetime. So
yeah, and you probably won't ever see it again. So you better hope they do. So
yeah,
we'll see.
And then see my number 2. It's not super exciting, but I will just go with the Olympics in general. Actually, COVID canceling them in 2020, then them actually being able to do it. I mean, it was questionable like 3 weeks leading up to it whether they were actually going to be able to pull it off or not, because Japan was spiking with cases and stuff at the time. But I'm actually glad they got to do it, because being every 4 years, some of these careers are only in an Olympic cycle, especially for like gymnasts and some divers and whatnot. So being able to see them actually go and compete, although they couldn't do it in front of their families and whatnot because no spectators were allowed. It was actually nice to see them actually be able to do it, and it looked like it was with relative safety. I don't think there was a ton of COVID cases reported from the Olympics, or at least the athletes themselves. So that was good to hear. I was super disappointed in NBC's local coverage of it. Like somebody said before, I don't remember who it was, but maybe it was Andrew. No, it was Jason Hill. Even NBC's like channels, their Olympic listings didn't show the sports they were actually said they were going to at the time, and they were all over the place, all over the board. But anyway, I'm just happy for the athletes. They actually got to compete for their countries, because it was looking like they weren't going to be able to there for a while. So
yeah, that's a good one.
Not super exciting, but I've always been a huge Olympics fan. I can't wait until February we get more Olympics. Like
biathlon, baby.
You didn't have to wait too long for the next one.
Yeah, it's like 6 months and we're there again. Right? I like having them on alternating years, just because we get more Olympics. Like 18 months, 24 months, we no more Olympics. So, but anyway, that was my number 2. Leon, your number 1 sports moment of the year.
All right, number 1, Tim Anderson walks off the Yankees Field of Dream game. What a moment! What a game! It's leading to other games. The Kevin Costner opening, Yankees going down big, then smashing the red hot White Sox bullpen. Looks like they were going to blow it, and then Tim Anderson comes back and walks him off. To me, that was one of the craziest baseball moments I've ever seen, and probably will ever see. Just the hit it into the cornfield, right? Like how often can you see that? So that's probably my number 1.
It happened a lot in high school.
Okay. for me, I've never seen it. It's my default stadium now. Anytime I play anyone in MLB The Show, just a crazy moment. You could buy a relic cards on Topps.com with Tim Anderson signed, and then they put some corn in the card. Like it's just all in all, just a crazy moment. It's spawning future games. I hope MLB does more of that kind of stuff. So for me, overall sports moment, got to go to the Field of Dreams.
Great choice.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought it showcased my home state very well. I know they fed into the whole corn and farm thing a lot, but they did it in not a hokey way. they did it. They tied it in very well with the movie and what the movie was about, and showcased the movie really, really well. Bringing Kevin Costner back, bringing all those people back, having it at the actual site. Unfortunately, it wasn't actually on the Field of Dreams. They built a brand new field. I think that was more they didn't want to ruin the aesthetic of the original Field of Dreams, because that's still there. They do allow people to play on that, so that's kind of cool. And you can go have a catch, everything on there. But yeah, it was very good. That humid summer Iowa air, man, led to some bombs. It happens all the time. A lot of home run. I mean, the national high school home run records from Iowa, just because we play in the summer and that humidity, man, makes that ball fly. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was a fantastic game. Couldn't have gone better. Anyone else? Thoughts?
Oh yeah.
No, I caught the last 3 innings of it just because we were doing recap at the time. So I'm glad I was able to at least see, the Yankee comeback, the Tim Anderson walk off on top of which too. I missed all the, the kind of fanfare to lead into it, but it's on YouTube. I went back and watched it, and so I agree. It was very tastefully done. The Kevin Costner aspect of it is probably the part I cared about the least.
I mean, I think hopefully they don't do that again. With the next,
do it once.
Do it once. Do it for the first one. Cool. Now let's just play the games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that if they continue to do this on a yearly basis, then I'm super happy about it. I hope it expands into, other territories. I mean, the talk of like, oh, hey, we're gonna do a Sandlot game. It's like
that would be fantastic.
Let's fucking do it.
They do that Little League game every year, right? Sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked about this when the Field of Dreams game was happening. It'd be cool to see other, like, I know they won't play stick ball, but maybe play in a Sandlot in between buildings in Brooklyn or something like that. Give a kind of a Sandlot feel. There's a lot, there's a ton of games. Play down in Cuba, or Puerto Rico, on some of those fields. I think it'd be extremely awesome to
I
do
loved
something
it.
like that.
I thought it was really well done, and I love the movie. I was at that field many years ago. It's quite an experience. I welcome anyone to do it. It was great. It was really well done. I thought the MLB handled it really well, and I'm hoping they do more of that. Maybe do various different venues at some point. Maybe go back to Field of Dreams and relive that again.
I think they are planning on it next year.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
Cardinals and Reds, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cubs and Reds.
So very cool. Cardinals and Reds? Very cool.
I don't know. I thought the Cubs were involved. Maybe they're not. Hatter.
Maybe Cubs and Reds. I think.
Was it the Cubs?
Yeah, Hatter would know.
Might be.
I thought it was Cubs. I thought it was Cubs Cardinals, but
I'm pretty sure it's Cardinals Reds.
I know the Reds are in there.
Some combination. Yeah, I know the Reds are in for sure. Some combo of those 3 central teams that no one cares about.
Maybe they'll just mash up together. Pick sides.
I'm going to look it up quick.
All right.
I was gonna say, for the sake of the color scheme,
Cubs and Reds.
Yeah.
Cubs and Reds.
I remember seeing them pick those teams. I was like, why? But whatever.
Yeah.
The Cubs I get, because it's like 45% of the population here is Cubs fans.
Bring up the Iowa Cubs.
Yeah, I mean, it's close for them. The Reds maybe because they're the first team.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
I don't know. But I thought maybe they'd do a Cubs Cardinals in the middle of Iowa. I thought that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, Field of Dreams is pretty cool. Neil, is it as good as your number one sports moment?
Well, my number one is actually a series of events, and that would be just going back to sporting events this year.
Sure.
God, I missed that the year prior. I really did. And, I'm a partial season ticket holder to the Phillies, and it was just so great to go back and just watch the games live and just experience everything that goes with, going to games, of course, with some limitations. You had to wear masks in certain areas and whatnot, but it just, it started to bring that sense of normalcy, even though I know it kind of got out of whack again, but it started bringing things back and just having those moments with fans. I was at a Phillies Mets game. We were just the back and forth with the Met fans. And that was at the time when the Phillies took first place. And it was just so incredible to just be back and be in there and just experience the things that I always loved to do. And it was taken. The old saying is you don't know what you have until you lose it. And not being able to go to sporting events live the year prior was just very difficult. It just, kind of felt like you're just in this cocoon, and then being able to go back, I was just super stoked. And, I went to an Eagles game earlier in the year and I actually met Jason and Travis Kelsey's mom at the game, just randomly told her that, her son Jason's Super Bowl 52 champion speech is still beloved. And she said, yeah, it was interesting. I said, yes, it was. We loved it. But it was great. Just going back and having that sense of, being back for those moments. And, there was a game where the against the Cubs, the Cubs scored 7 runs in the early in the game, and then the Phillies half the inning, they scored 7 runs, and just the energy, and it was just great to go back. And I look forward to future moments, and but that would be my number one, is getting back into the stadiums, getting back into sports. Was certainly probably the most memorable thing for me for this year. A bit of just a personal one, but that's what it was for me.
Absolutely. Just I don't go to a lot of sporting events because the nearest professional team is at least 3 hours away. I do go to a few college games here and there, but I just, even watching them on TV, how much of a difference just having a crowd there makes with the electricity of the game and the flow of the game. It was eerie watching some of these games with no crowd, noise, nothing. But yeah, so it's been nice to see. Hopefully everybody can stay safe at these games now. COVID's spiking up again. But it's very, very awesome to see people in the crowd again. Really just booing at officials, right? When they make bad calls. I mean, how do they know they're doing? How do they know they're doing a bad job if the fans aren't booing at them?
You can only pump in so much noise,
right?
You have to have that real feel of the venom of the crowd.
The weirdest crowdless sporting event, I think, is got to be wrestling. When they
professional wrestling was terrible.
The other wrestlers kind of just surround and whatever. That was kind of weird. But,
it's really hard to give especially for the wrestlers, when they're giving their mic performances and they're not getting that feedback from the crowd. The flow is completely off. It was odd, and I actually did not enjoy it at all. So when they at least brought the fans on the screens back, it helped a little bit, but giving that mic work in front of a wall is not fun to watch.
One thing I'm going to slightly disagree with you there, Jason, because Chris Jericho cutting a promo on a drone in the middle of a ring with nobody else there is still one of the best moments of the COVID era wrestling.
Okay,
that's fair.
It's still
general
sucked, though.
But the general product was weird.
I get that, but it's making lemonade out of lemons.
One thing that was enhanced with no crowd, I would say, is UFC events, just being able to kind of really zone in and watch the fights. You could hear the corners. You can even hear them talking shit to each other.
Not even just UFC, but any sports in general, especially basketball. You could hear the coaches and what they were saying to the players. That was nice to hear, but I wouldn't give up the crowds again to get that back.
Yeah.
All right, Ben. I think I have a feeling I know what your number one moment is. Does it have to do with North Florida football?
It does not actually.
Oh, I figured the Buccaneers winning Super Bowl would have been your number one.
No, actually, oddly enough, you should have known the answer to this because you were there with me. All out Chicago, being live there for that is hands down. As much as a lot of people want to say wrestling is not a sport, it is a sport. It's an entertainment spectacle first and foremost, but the athleticism involved with it is top notch. And the card that they put together for All Out, what was spectacular. The Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros tag team title match in a cage is hands down one of the greatest tag matches that has ever been performed, let alone in a cage. Right. But no, even the pre-show was decent. The women's battle royale to introduce Ruby Soho was amazing.
Yes.
And, CM Punk finally, wrestling in Chicago and the crowd noise that was involved with that. I mean, as far as, everybody talking about any sporting event without a crowd. And it's just like, no, it's Chicago. It's CM Punk coming back for his very first pay-per-view. And that place was electric. Yeah. Not to mention the fact that the show ended with Adam Cole coming out of nowhere when we all thought it was going to be Bryan Danielson coming out, and then on top of which he still comes out.
Right.
And I don't know of anybody who has said a bad thing about that pay-per-view. And, I've been to a lot of wrestling shows where it's like, okay, I'm ready to go home. And that was one of the few times where it's just like, I'm just not ready to leave. Who's got a drink? Who's got a bottle of Malort in their trunk? Let's keep this night going. God. Which did happen.
Chicago, you can keep your fucking Malort.
Keep your fucking Malort.
That stuff is disgusting.
Oh my God, can't do it. But no, that for me to say, a wrestling show was the number one sporting event, at least in my eyes, for 2021. I think it says a lot because I involve myself in a lot of sporting events and such, but that one was top tier, entertaining for everybody.
Absolutely. All around. CM Punk wrestling his first match in Chicago in 6 years? In professional wrestling. And then, the Adam Cole surprise, the Bryan Danielson surprise, Ruby Soho. They rolled out the red carpet at that one. Because I think wasn't it their first pay-per-view with a crowd since the pandemic?
It was All Out in Jacksonville had a crowd.
Okay.
Or not All Out, Double or Nothing in Jacksonville had a crowd.
Gotcha. But maybe the first one outside of their home arena.
Correct.
Chicago, they did a fantastic job filling that arena up. I was a little concerned at first, but everybody had masks on and we were all good. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Absolutely. I should have seen this one coming. I don't know why I've been thinking about it. I just know you're a huge Bucks fan, and Brady bringing the trophy home to Tampa Bay with Gronk.
I was happy with it, but it wasn't like the most important thing that I thought happened this year. So it was pretty much more expected really than anything.
Oh wow! All right.
It's a good situation for Brady to walk into.
It's
like the perfect situation for him.
Yeah. I mean, ready-made defense. All they really needed was a quarterback.
The weapons he had and stuff. Cool.
Yeah, and was able to bring in too.
Yeah.
But all right, my number one. I don't think this is any surprise, but on August 1st, the Braves were 52-55.
Oh.
5 games back in a weekend at least. But then they go 18-11 in the month of August. They go 16-12 in the month of September, just making a probable run. It helps that the Mets and the Phillies fell apart to even make the playoffs. But then, to rebuild half of their roster at the trade deadline or slightly before it, and have those players come in and make an immediate impact. Because you had Jock Peterson in the divisional series. You had Eddie Rosario in the National League Championship Series. And then you had Jorge Soler win the MVP of the World Series. To have your best player go down in the middle of the season. And then like another little thing that happened, like your ace gets knocked out of the first game of the World Series.
Yep.
On a batted ball, breaks his fibula. And he pitched a couple more innings after that, but like just to overcome all of those things for such an improbable run to the championship, the Braves winning the World Series this year is my number one sports moment. It just came out of nowhere. Like Hollywood can't even write a better script than this, right?
I don't know if the ball's landed yet off that Soler home run.
Oh God, just monster shot to set the tone. But then to come back in the bottom of the inning and lose your ace, it just everything was stacked against them, and they still pulled it up. It was just awesome to see. I was not expecting that. As soon as Acuna went down, I'm like, okay, well, I can
pack it up.
Wait for football season. But yeah, and I almost did wait for football season because they didn't make their turnaround until August. So it was just awesome to see. Probably the best job a general manager has done in sports in I don't know how long. Just what he did to rebuild that team on the fly.
Yeah,
is absolutely incredible.
He didn't give up much either for the guys he got. He didn't give up.
Well, I mean, they basically all came off the scrap heap. Like Eddie Rosario was hurt at the time, Soler, Royals pretty much given up on him. Yep. Peterson had bounced around a couple of different teams.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but they all came together. Maybe it was Freddie Freeman's leadership. Who knows? But they all came alive in August, September, and October.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was. Just
when Alex has a chance to do it, like he goes and goes all in, which I like. Some of the most exciting seasons back from when he was the Blue Jays general manager back in 16 and 15. He just found the right pieces. So, good on him. Canadian Alex Anthopoulos.
That's my number one moment by far. It was just a lot of fun to watch, and then having the crowds back in both LA and Houston and Atlanta, just seeing that, especially after last year, they played basically the entire postseason in Dallas.
That sucked, to be honest.
Weird.
It really did. Texas. It was really weird. No crowds. Like, well, there were crowds, but
nobody cared. It was just a crowd to be. Oh, it's like, there's baseball today. I'm gonna go.
Right. Yeah.
Like Rangers fans watching the Astros and the Dodgers play.
But it was awesome. And like I said, the most improbable run. I still really can't believe it. Just because they shouldn't have been there, but they did it. So
now you gotta pay Freddie.
Freddie deserves to be paid for all the years that he's been there and put up with the
I
crap.
agree with that. Make him a lifer.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're also talking about
somewhere else.
We're also talking about billionaires, so who gives a shit how much money they spend on talent?
If they don't pay him, he might come home. He's a Canadian too.
Yeah.
If he wants.
Where would they put him though?
First.
Where's Guerrero gonna go?
Back to third. Slim Guerrero.
Leon's got it all figured out. He already did this in the show, probably.
Leon's already simulated all this in the show, so he knows it'll work.
Hey, time to submit your resume for GM, man.
The Jays got a good chance to make a run, and Freddie Freeman is the left-handed bat we need. So be careful.
There you go.
Oh yeah, Andrew brought up all that shit that was happening in Georgia at the time too. With them moving the All-Star game away from
and
all that shit too.
And all that.
Yeah. Hopefully they weren't paying too much attention to that. But yeah, moving the All-Star game away from Atlanta probably
lit a fire in somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe the GM, like, fuck you, MLB. I'm gonna win this thing, whether you want me to or not.
Yeah.
Rizzo striking out, Freeman swinging. that was kind of funny too.
That was a good moment.
That was a good moment. That was a moment. Yeah. It helps that
Obscure
they're
moment.
such good friends too.
Yeah, they made a card out of that, so you could have got a Tops Now card, and it's a card in the show too. So Anthony Rizzo has a relief pitcher you can use.
There you go.
The 79-mile-per-hour fastball.
It's hard to believe that he can't throw harder than that. Maybe it's because he's trying to actually hit a strike zone.
Yeah, I think he's throwing.
How about Brock Holt and his 38-mile-an-hour just like float balls that he was just lobbing?
Well, who's the guy in Minnesota? The Torta or whatever? What's his name? The tortoise guy? It's Luis, whatever. But they got him to throw a bunch of innings too this year. He's the third baseman. They're funny looking third baseman. Yeah, we saw a lot of like weird stuff this year with like position players.
Yeah, I mean they kind of had to. I mean, there is the strategy involved with that. When it's like game is out of hand, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to throw some guys in. But then with COVID just kind of ravaging, players on occasion, it's like you do have to get creative with that. So
yeah, you're also throwing off their timing for the next game too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. Timing's everything, especially in baseball.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you.
Fun
Yeah.
time.
Thank you to everybody that was watching. I want to wish everybody a very, very happy new year and much success in the coming year. Again, thank you for joining us on the last show of the year. And I think we'll be back next week. We don't have any plans not to be.
Yeah.
But any parting thoughts, Ben?
Not really. I think the biggest thing is I appreciate you guys bringing me into the fold on this. It's been a lot of fun, and especially for me to go from since we changed the date on recap to Wednesdays now, to go from that where it's like I'm the lead, I got to make sure nothing gets screwed up, nothing goes awry, and then I got to come in here and just talk sports and just chill with you guys. Fucking love it.
And the best part is we got wrestling and soccer in on one show today.
Boom! Suck it, Pierre. Hope you get feeling better.
Yeah, we talked all sorts of sports today. Women's tennis,
soccer, women's
soccer,
tennis, swimming,
UFC,
diving,
Olympics.
We got it all in.
We got it in.
A world
this is like
show.
the Ocho version of VFT Sports Talk.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Neil, got any words for the fans out there?
Well, as always, fellas, thanks for having me aboard here, and you all have everyone watching. Of course, leave those likes. Make sure you leave many likes, and you all have a very happy New Year 2022. Let's all hope for a great year, and also, the sad news yesterday. Rest in peace to Coach Madden. Such an influence with football. I grew up watching him and Pat Summerall call games, and of course the video game. I learned a lot about football because of Coach Madden, and it was sad to see his passing yesterday, but a great man and former Eagle, John Madden.
Yeah.
But
go check out the documentary on Fox Sports. Madden.
All Madden.
It's awesome.
Yep, absolutely. Leon, final thoughts of the year?
No, just thanks for everyone for making it this far, for watching with us and kind of taking this journey with us. We weren't originally set out to plan to do a sports section of our channel, but we're trying to branch off and do new things. So thanks to everyone for rocking with us. Make sure everyone's staying safe out there. Crazy world. Hopefully everyone has a good year.
Yep. I mean, that's primarily why we're all hat collectors, is because we're sports fans first.
Yeah.
And with COVID and everything, I don't go to the office anymore, so I don't even get to talk sports live with anybody anymore.
Yeah.
So this has been a good outlet for me. I appreciate you guys joining us every single week. Neil, I want to reiterate, rest in peace, Mr. Madden. Everybody go have a turducken in his honor. And again, everybody have a fantastic new year. Catch us at Friday at 2 Eastern, I think.
I believe so.
2 or
This is
3.
Like some part during the day. So before everyone
During the day,
New Year's drinking.
we're going to do the weekend review early. Hopefully you can join us for that. And then we'll be back next week with VFT VFTV
Sports Talk.
Sports Talk. Yeah. First one of the year. So with
Love
that
it.
being said, thank you everybody for watching, and drop a like on the video. Leon, big fella, take us away.
Yeah. Viewsmanvault.com for official merch. For Jason, Leon, Neil, and Ben. We out, guys. Stay fitted.
Boom.